Welcome guys to Pour Your Hearts Out with Up for Grabs with AJ, where I'm Jack.
And I'm Audrey. And today we're going to be talking about our fears.
One of my biggest fears has always been rejection.
Why?
I don't know, I've always been like that people pleaser.
I mean, people are going to love you, people are not going to love you. But we're always trying so hard to make everyone like us, because who doesn't like to be liked, even though we know that it's not always going to happen.
I've always wanted to be a part of that in crowd, and it's like I don't want to like lose myself to be something that I'm not, but I don't want to be rejected for being myself.
I mean, the fear's got to stem from something. So has there ever been a time where you feel like you've been rejected?
Not so much that I was rejected, but the fear of getting the rejection. I would say like back in high school, there are always the people that people wanted to be around, and I was the, theater kid.
Me too. I was always picked, I'm not kidding, I was always picked last in gym, like in elementary school for sport. No, I'm not kidding, that makes you not want to ever play that. Yeah. And then people are like, what did you play a sport when you were in high school? Well, no, and then you have to explain why.
Where I went to school was more so like that thug mentality. But I was never a thug, and I never came off as a thug. I didn't talk like people that were. Now, I love the way I am. I love the way I dress. I love the way I talk. I love the way, who I can be. But, at that time growing up, it was just like the fear of rejection.
So Jack, you talked a lot about being rejected, but you kind of said that you never were rejected. You just wanted to be accepted. So what do you consider the difference between acceptance and rejection?
Acceptance is more so like, the norm. What everybody's wearing, what everybody's doing, what everybody's thoughts are the same. Basically, I feel like that will be considered your acceptance. If you don't have what everyone else wants, then you're going to be rejected, in my opinion.
I don't really know if there's much of a difference. In my opinion, I don't think there's much of a difference between acceptance and rejection, because I feel like we have to go through the stages of like trying to be accepted as much as you can by doing those, unless you're like completely don't really care, independent, like you're like, I don't really care if people accept or reject me. You have to kind of to go through like the stages of trying to fit in with the crowd, even though sometimes it might make you uncomfortable, but like trying to be accepted, but sometimes it doesn't really work and you get rejected from that. And from that rejection is how I think you learn how to accept yourself. And I think it's, as you get older, you start realizing that it's more so about accepting yourself versus wanting to be accepted by others. You just kind of learn that it does get better. And as you're growing up, all you want is to be accepted by people you go to school with, because that's like your whole life.
It is.
You literally you're at home less than you are at school during the day. And you're supposed to feel safe at school. There's nothing worse than going there and not feeling like you fit in, and feeling like you're gonna go to school and get bullied. Like some people just get bullied for what they wear because maybe they can't afford all the name brands, or maybe they don't like the name brands, and that's fine because that's who you are. So I feel like as you get older, you start to learn that like it's okay to be accepted by me and rejected by others, because this is who I am. It's who I get.
Right.
But it does get better. I am terrified of people judging me and being like, she's not good enough for this. Why did she get hired? I'm always thinking that people think that I'm like not good enough, even though I know they're not concerned about that. Like I started an internship this summer and I was with another intern, and I was always nervous that people on my team were like, oh, the other intern's better. Like Audrey kind of knows what she's doing, but the other person's like way better. And I don't know why I think that. And I've had conversations with people before, and they're like, oh, I feel that too. Like I don't have as much experience, or that I've never done this type of work before, so people think that I'm not well equipped for this job.
So why do you feel that way?
Because I'm like really interested in a lot of different things that like because of that I feel like I don't focus my energy on one specific thing, and that doesn't make me, I don't dive into a subject as well as I should, which is my own personal problem. Someone who's like an amazing basketball player but kind of like practices a couple times a day or like a week, as opposed to someone who's maybe not as great but they want that starting position, they're gonna practice and they're gonna practice because they want that, and that might they're someone who's like just gives it the basic or the bare minimum. So I think it just depends on like your motivation and your willingness to learn. Okay, so the advice I would give to someone who has the same fear that I have, the fear of trying to be the best you can be, is just to be the best version of yourself. People actually aren't judging you as much as you think. And just take everything in that you can. Learn from people, learn from books, learn from the internet. Just be a sponge and absorb everything, and that will make you the best, and that will not make you feel like everyone's better than you.
Facing a fear doesn't mean it's going to happen overnight. It's one of those things you're going to have to deal with consistently until you actually look at it directly in the mirror and say, hey. Alright guys, we hope you kind of got to see both of our like personal spaces. It was one of those things, it was not really hard, but it was one of those things that was like, it's a vulnerable space for both of us. It was really, really cool that we can let you guys in a little bit. We want you guys to subscribe, let us know how you guys feel about this. Subscribe to all of our social media, that is our Facebook, our Twitter, our Instagram, our Tumblr.
Yeah, let us know what you guys want us to talk about. If you guys feel comfortable to share your fears, whatever you want to talk to about us, we will listen.
We would love to hear that. Love you guys. We'll see you guys soon.
Bye.
Bye. Scott.
Oh wow, that's a doozy.
Don't put that in there, please.